We have 4 shows this weekend, not even including Wilder versus Fury, which we will have coverage of, and Carlos will have a live podcast after that show. I think I'm going to do basically a weekend wrap-up of MMA after the Australia show on Saturday night. But let's talk about it. The Ultimate Fighter finale. I want to ask you, James, is this the finale of Ultimate Fighter finales? Dana White says no, but I don't believe we have any news on another season of The Ultimate Fighter yet. Every time we think it's the last time, we get more and more news. I will say, it's not like the UFC tough formula hasn't created some names. It has, even in recent years. You've got a heavyweight and you've got a women's featherweight. That increases your percentage there. And we know we've got Juan Diepa and Justin Frazier, who are both pretty solid heavyweights. But first off, I want to know, do we see another season of this?
Yes, we will. ESPN needs programming. They'll throw The Ultimate Fighter on there. It's just people got to understand the business of television. And, ESPN, as much as they have all this content, they're going to need stuff to put on their app, to put on other things. So I think we will see The Ultimate Fighter continue. That's just my thoughts. And in terms of,
they run drone races and college softball on Saturday afternoons. So
exactly. Tough would probably draw better than that, as much as people don't think it would. I mean, you get the casual fan or someone who's slipping through the channels and 2 people are fist fighting. They're going to probably tune into that. So that's something to consider. But to answer your other question, I think the problem with The Ultimate Fighter, just quickly, is just that, back when it first started, there was no LFA, there was no contender series. So you were getting the best prospects on the show, and now you're not. And you mentioned we're going to get a heavyweight winner. That is true. Are we going to get a featherweight winner? I think we're getting a bantamweight winner, because really a lot of the women that are on this season are bantamweights, and they're probably going to drop down to bantamweight after they win the show or whatever happens. So, they could have got featherweights like a Felicia Spencer, who they opted not to go with, or Aubrey Wolf, or there's a lot of featherweights in Invicta. They just chose not to go that direction. They went with bantamweights instead. I know it's because they have to cut the extra weight on the show. I get that, but I mean, this isn't going to produce someone that's going to fight Cyborg anytime soon. Let's just put it that way.
Also, we might get a 38-year-old heavyweight winner at that.
That's true. Yeah, which is really like 20 in the division, if you think about it, right? I mean, how the division's pretty old. I think the average age is like 35.
Here's another issue we faced, Joe, and it's one that we faced for a long time. You got Pani Kianzad in the finals, but here we are on Tuesday. This show is on Friday, and the general public does not know who she is fighting in the finals of this. This used to be the attraction, the finals of The Ultimate Fighter. It's either going to be Leah Letson or Mary Kiasen. And how do I ask you to make a prediction when we don't know who they're going to face?
Yeah, it's all part of the television ratings, right? That's you want to find out who she's fighting? Tune in. That's all it really is, right? So there's no way we're going to make a prediction on something like that. There was a time when I knew who the winner was going to be. Now I don't, but it's one of those things where they're driving. They want to drive the track. You want to know that bad, ladies and gentlemen, you have to watch the show. If not, you wake up the next morning and you'll find out exactly who it is, because all the pages will be updated and all that jazz there. So it's James, I totally get what you're saying in terms of the content, right? With Sean saying that they're showing drone races and college softball on ESPN. Yeah, I think you're bang on. The content is going to be required. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, though. Because I thought The Ultimate Fighter would be done with Fox. It wouldn't go over to ESPN, guys. But now that I think about it, it'd be interesting to see who from ESPN would be behind the production of The Ultimate Fighter, and what kind of changes they would make from a storyline perspective and or a production perspective, to see how they can jazz it up. Only because, I mean, it's run stale with the vast majority of people. I have not watched a minute, let alone a teaser of this season of The Ultimate Fighter. In fact, James, when I am scrolling through the stations that we have up here and the show is on or about to start, I just want to see what's on my PVR.